You know, when you look at the world today, it's pretty clear we're facing this huge tangle of crises. You've got climate change, social division, economic instability, and they all seem to feed into each other. But what if the answer isn't to fight each fire one by one, but to change the very system that's causing them in the first place? So let's dive into a new way of thinking about this. A strategy that's all about moving from that chaotic fragmentation to a powerful global synergy.
So here's our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to start by really getting a handle on the deep nature of our global crisis. Then we'll explore these really powerful principles of coherence and synergy that might just offer a way out. After that, we'll look at a practical 7-step blueprint for system change, see the tool designed to actually put it into action, and wrap up with the ultimate vision, getting back in sync with our planet.
All right, first things first, let's get to the very heart of the problem. It's not just that we have a lot of challenges, it's the way they're all tangled up. That's the real issue.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? We can't afford to think in our little boxes anymore. Things like climate chaos, social breakdown, and economic instability, they aren't separate problems. They're all interconnected, reinforcing each other in this really dangerous feedback loop. And the key thing is, our old way of trying to solve problems one after the other, it just flat out doesn't work anymore.
And this tangled web of problems, it actually has a name: the polycrisis. Think of it less like a to-do list of emergencies and more like a single, massive system failure. The real issue isn't just the individual crises, it's the deep-down incoherence, this fundamental misalignment between how our human systems work and the way the planet actually works.
Okay, so if we frame the problem as a crisis of incoherence, the solution starts to become a lot clearer. It's not about finding some magic bullet for each issue. It's about building coherence and, in doing so, unlocking the incredible power of synergy.
So what do we even mean by coherence? Well, imagine a symphony orchestra before the conductor shows up. It's just a mess of noise, right? 100 different instruments all doing their own thing. That's kind of like our global system right now. Coherence is what happens when the conductor finally raises their baton, and suddenly everyone is playing from the same sheet of music. It's alignment. It's synchronization. It's the structure that makes harmony possible.
And if coherence is the orchestra getting in sync, synergy is the breathtaking music they create together. It's that magic that happens when the whole becomes so much more than the sum of its parts. Synergy is that extra value, that multiplied impact that comes directly from that state of deep alignment. It's not just about teamwork, it's a massive leap in what we can do together.
So let's make this distinction crystal clear, because it's absolutely fundamental. Coherence is the structure. It's the how. It's all about creating the alignment in the system. Synergy, on the other hand, is the result. That's the what. It's the powerful, amazing outcome of all that alignment. Here's the key. You simply cannot get to synergy without building coherence first.
Okay, this all sounds great in theory, right? Alignment, synergy, beautiful music, but how on earth do we actually create this coherence on a global scale? Well, let's look at a practical 7-part blueprint for how it could actually be done.
I mean, that's the big question, isn't it? It's one thing to talk about alignment, but it's another thing entirely to come up with a workable plan for billions of people and thousands of different institutions. The good news is, we're not starting from zero. The answer lies in a set of conditions that we can actually observe and build.
And it turns out the answer lies in establishing 7 key structural conditions. Now, these aren't just nice ideas. They are patterns that have been seen over and over again in every single successful, large-scale collaboration. When you get these 7 things right, synergy isn't just a possibility, it becomes the natural result.
And here they are. First, a shared purpose, like a North Star everyone can follow. Think of how Wikipedia has the shared goal of building a global encyclopedia. Then, a shared language, so we're all speaking the same-ish language. Trust, which is the absolute glue that holds it all together. Transparent information flow, so everyone can see the big picture. Distributed leadership, so people can take action locally. The right collaborative tools and infrastructure. And finally, shared learning, so the entire network gets smarter over time. When you have these 7 things humming, you get that deep alignment and synergy we've been talking about.
Now, this is where things get really interesting. This slide shows that these 7 conditions aren't just random good ideas. They actually map directly to what the legendary systems thinker Donella Meadows identified as the most powerful places to intervene in any complex system. We're talking about the deepest leverage points, things like the goals of a system, its core mindset, and its power structures. This is a huge deal. And this really gets to the heart of the whole strategy. By focusing on these 7 conditions, we're not just making small tweaks or trying to force change from the outside. No, we are fundamentally rewiring the system's internal operating logic from the inside out. We're making cooperation and regeneration the natural, default way of doing things.
So, we have the blueprint, these 7 powerful conditions. But a blueprint is useless without a builder, right? How do we actually turn these conditions on across thousands of organizations all over the world? Well, this is where the tool comes in.
This is the Phoenix platform. Think of it as a kind of global coherence architecture. And right at its heart, you've got something called the synergy engine. That's the operational core. It's the part that's specifically designed to take all this theory about the 7 conditions and make it a real, practical, and scalable thing.
So what does it actually do? Well, the synergy engine is basically a collaborative intelligence system. Its main job is to take all the fragmented, siloed bits of information from countless different people and organizations and weave it all together into a coherent, shared picture of reality. It's the tech that allows us to make sense of the world together and coordinate our actions in a truly synergistic way.
A great way to think about this is like enabling a kind of planetary swarm intelligence. You know, like a flock of birds or a school of fish that moves in perfect, beautiful unison. There's no single bird in charge, right? But the collective creates these amazingly complex patterns and can respond to change in an instant. The synergy engine is the infrastructure that could allow humanity to coordinate in a similar way, unlocking solutions that no single person or group could ever figure out on their own.
Okay, so we've got the method and we've got the tool. But what's it all for? This isn't just about making our civilization run a bit more efficiently. No, this is about a fundamental shift in our relationship with the Earth itself.
The ultimate goal is to achieve something called sustained evolutionary cohesive coherence. Yeah, I know, that's a mouthful. But the idea behind it is actually beautiful and profound. This isn't about a one-time fix. It's about creating a continuous, always evolving practice of keeping our human systems, our economies, our societies in constant alignment with the planet's living systems and with each other.
And this image, it just captures that vision perfectly. It represents a massive paradigm shift. It's about moving away from this old, extractive mindset of trying to dominate nature and moving toward a regenerative one, seeing ourselves as a collaborative partner. Human civilization becomes a healthy, respectful member of Earth's community of life.
So what does reharmonization actually look like? Well, it means we start adopting the same logic that life itself has used to thrive on this planet for billions of years. It means building our systems based on feedback and give and take. It means recognizing that there are limits. It means valuing diversity, prioritizing long-term resilience over short-term profit, and finally moving from siloed thinking to seeing the whole.
So we end right here. With this question, we've seen that our crisis is really a crisis of incoherence. We've seen that the solution lies in building coherence to unlock our collective synergy. We've even looked at a blueprint and a tool designed to do exactly that. It seems like the path forward actually exists. So the real question now isn't about how, but about will. What will it take for us, all of us, to choose to walk it?